Oh, we're live. All right.
Wow, that was loud.
Yeah, I forgot about that part of it, but people can deal with it. God damn it, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore Monday night. Okay, whatever. All right. I actually might need to change that. That's not good. It's a bad look.
Yeah, but you don't have a mustache or long, silly hair. So
Yeah.
look at you.
God, I should change shirts. I forgot to. I don't know if I can do this. This is tough.
Have your mom run you a shirt down.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Man.
What's up,
Illini Basketball Podcast.
There we go.
Episode 212. I was thinking about my shirt. April 11th, 2024. Prime time. I don't know if we've ever done one at this time without a game, but
yeah.
Circumstances, scheduling stuff,
Yeah. People got to work.
Yeah. Armchairline.com. You check them out for all the off-season stuff, articles, film stuff, the whole thing.
Yep. What's up, Eric? What's up, Bergie? How's everybody doing tonight? Late night.
Yeah, it's not that late. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Showing off the new do, Eric.
I'm gonna try to be less of a hat guy if I don't have long hair. I think is the move.
How long will you not have long hair until it grows back out?
Yeah, that'll be like August or probably around the new season. Should be good for hats again. But it's it is what it is. I wrote down the first thing here, which is that Illinois finished 6th in the AP poll out of I think Tennessee and Houston and UConn, Purdue, and Alabama were all ahead of them, right? Is that the grouping of teams?
I believe so.
That seems about right. Illinois was like one of the higher rated Elite Eight teams. So
unlike I thought in the last one, they did not finish 4th. Sadly.
Yeah, which 6 makes sense. There were 2 teams tied, right? Alabama and Houston were tied
for 3rd. Yeah.
And then Tennessee and then Illinois, I think, was the or something. Yeah. 6th though, that's good. I mean, that's the second top 10 finish in the Underwood era. 2021, they also finished in the top 10. So there you go. That's good, right? That you want to be there,
Fantastic.
And then Terrence Shannon Jr. posted a message to Twitter yesterday saying, thanks and goodbye to Illini and Texas Tech fans. Notice the replies were open on that one. So
they
his
were
first post in a long time with the replies open.
Yeah.
And the suit, the university and whatever that was.
They've dropped, whatever was going on there. So
yeah, I'm gonna go change shirts on top of the chat. I can't.
Are you serious?
It's fine.
Leaving me?
It'll be fine.
Line Cat says I just learned Ethan only changes clothes on show days. Yeah. Or when his mom does his laundry. Eric, what's up? Tommy, what's going on? Imbrats, how you doing tonight? Yeah, Eric, thanks for coming by. Line Cast, thanks for coming by. Hope your show was good. You guys come over here and listen to me ramble. So Trey White looks pretty good. Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a little bit. Ethan has on here what the mock drafts are saying about Hawkins and Terrence Shannon. So once he gets back from changing his shirt, we will talk about that. But some big news coming with the portal, it looks like. Piper put a crystal ball up. There's some guys visiting this week, so that'll all be talked about. Can't believe he just left me here. So I don't know what else to talk about right now. So there he is. Now you're going to be out of breath.
I'm good.
All right.
Not out of breath, please.
Anyway.
I think my voice is still struggling from the Ohio State Big Ten tournament game.
Interesting.
Still feeling it from that. What happened while I was gone?
I rambled for a while. I kind of told him what we were going to talk about tonight.
Some spit from that cough there. What? Yeah.
And I said we were going to talk about the mock drafts and what they're saying about Hawkins and Terrence Shannon. So
I kind of forgot that not everybody does a 2-round mock, which is tough for Coleman.
yeah, it was hard to find any. The only one I found on Coleman was from NBADraftRoom.com, and they have him ranked at 75th, so undrafted. NBADraftRoom.com also has Terrence Shannon at 59, and the only thing they wrote about him was Terrence is facing legal issues. So they're irrelevant, obviously. CBS Sports, Kyle Boone has him at 19th. Gary Parrish and David Cobb don't have him listed. I'm shocked. I know you're probably shocked.
I thought that was humorous.
Yeah. USA Today has Terrence at 24. Total Pro Sports has him at 19. Sports Illustrated 17. Tankathon 18. So it seems like 18 to 22-ish range.
I mean, to be fair, you pick like the worst ones, but that's a
I literally just Googled it and tried to find the most recent ones I could find. You did absolutely nothing. So
well, I was actually going to add. I was going to add to it, but I figured I'd let you take care of that. I was just saying like you probably like. I would say Bleacher Report is the one that I would look at just because
theirs wasn't updated.
Is good.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think the latest one here. I'm going to check the date.
From February, I thought.
No, they definitely did one recently.
Okay.
They have them 17, so
that's the one I found. Yeah, everybody has them 18.
Yeah, April 9th is this one. Okay. This one has Khalil Ware 18th. Interesting. A couple other Big Ten names as well. Maybe not Big Ten names, but interesting names, I guess. Which I think the one thing in the draft that's going to be talked about with Shannon is the debate of like him and Connect, because I feel like there's a similarity there to the player, and I think a lot of people I think Connect probably ends up going in the top 10, but pretty similar in terms of both being 22 and 23, both similar size, both had big time scoring seasons in power conferences. So I think that'll be an interesting debate, quote unquote. But yeah, I think Shannon, depending on what happens in the summer, I still think there's a chance he's a lottery guy. And honestly, we got to remember like some of these mocks are totally irrelevant, and it's just something for us to talk about. So
right. Kind of like Andy Katz putting out his top 25.
Yeah. Well, those are that's just. I mean, the top. Yeah, there's literally no point, especially in this era.
Yeah,
where we don't know the teams put together. Like Illinois does not have a full team right now. Tennessee just lost 2 guys to the portal. There's a bunch of teams. Like it's basically based on your recruiting class.
Yeah,
like Rutgers being where they are, that's like their recruiting class.
And who might be coming back, because I think Houston is returning everybody.
Yeah, Shed's
most
back.
Guys.
Yeah.
And nobody's leaving right now, so
it's an entirely pointless exercise.
Absolutely,
especially in this version of where it's like complete, chaos.
Eric says, I think TSJ is a lottery pick too. What's the lottery? Top 15? Top 10?
14.
14?
Yeah.
No idea.
I wonder about some of the skills translating to the next level. Like the rim pressure stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be as effective. I don't know.
Shed just committed to the draft.
Maybe it was Cryer that I was talking about.
Scheidweiner wants to know what Ashton Kutcher's mocked at. Selling cars.
Top 5.
And Shed.
Yeah, Shed. Okay, Cryer's coming back. Shed's not. Whatever, same thing.
Yeah. So
Cryer's better.
Anyways, on to Illinois now. What's going on now? Timestamps, because we're professionals. 10 minutes.
Yeah. So Illinois at this point has 2 guys that they've landed in the portal. Obviously, we talked about Jake Davis in the last episode, and this time they bring in Louisville transfer wing Trey White, who was this is his 3rd school. So
yeah,
take that with whatever you want to do with that, I suppose. But I would say an interesting addition in many senses, and probably one that let me just say this. I think there's this thing where we all like either talk ourselves into liking an addition or automatically just think, oh, this is a great addition.
That's what you do, right?
I'm not convinced with this one, I will say.
Okay. All right. He is 6'7", 205-pound. They have him listed as a guard, like wing type, whatever. He does have 2 years of eligibility left. He played his freshman year at USC, played last year at Louisville, of course. He was a top 40 prospect coming out of high school. I think he was like 39 composite-ish. Last year on a terrible Louisville team, he averaged 12.3 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, shot 45.6% from the field and 29.9% from three. I think a lot of people are saying that this is a Quincy replacement, which I don't think he has the body of Quincy. Seemed like he had the driving game of Quincy because, as you said, he doesn't look very clean when he finishes at the rim, and I think we got a lot of that from Quincy last year. I think he has upside. I think that there's things that the team can do with him and make him better. I don't think he's a come in impact player. I don't think he's coming in and you're gonna be like, wow, this was a great pickup. But hope I'm wrong. We're sometimes we think
I don't,
a little.
I don't think it's good at all. Honestly, like number one, not that it matters whether I like watching somebody play or not, but I just don't like the way he looks out there. I just don't. Not a fan. His shot is not great. Not great looking. He shot under 30% from three both years of his career. He committed to 2 garbage coaches before this one. I mean, infield did absolutely nothing at USC without having Evan Mobley that 1 year, and then Kenny Payne. I think that speaks for itself. His results at Louisville. So he's coming to a program that is in a good spot in terms of recent success and sustaining it over the last 4 or 5 years and doing it with multiple. Like they've had multiple different sets of All-Americans help them win. And that's, a difference. I don't like his game. I mean, Ant Wright knows way more than I do. And he thinks that it's a good addition because of the tools. That's fine. You still have to make that work on the basketball court. And I just don't think that would it be that surprising if he was gone before the season? I don't know if this is one that holds. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Brad has a type. The problem with getting guys this early during the transfer is what happens down the road if you want somebody else. So that's a good question. Like I said, long and athletic is kind of what Brad is going for. I don't know if skill wise he is that good. Philip says that he was all Pac-12 freshman team at USC. So,
I mean, I think he played 26 minutes per game. I would hope that he'd be all Pac-12 freshman. Like, yeah, that makes sense. You know what else he did that year? He shot 26% from three.
Yeah, 26 and 29. Not great.
He doesn't take a ton of them, but still.
Bootsill said, so no amount of coaching can salvage Trey.
I don't know if it's that. I just don't think that people should expect him to come in and be.
I don't think he's an instant impact guy. Is kind of my thing. I put this on here because, of course, we are part of Armchair Illini. Alex Chi, who started it, said Trey White is a 6'6" guard forward who looks the part of a booty ball player. He has great length and wiry athleticism. As a result, he thrives in the mid-range and around the rim. His outside shot does need work. However, his experience and proven scoring ability on the wing will be huge for Illinois. I think him and Sky led Louisville in scoring last year, if I'm not wrong. I think that he's one of those guys that you can hopefully do something with. So
I understand that he's a role player, but is he a role player? Seriously? I think he's a 10. I don't, he's also no disrespect. I don't really think he's a booty ball fit at all. And his shot sucks.
I don't think he has the body of a booty baller.
He's just like a guy who also defensively, what we haven't seen from Trey White? Zero film on his defense. Nobody's posted anything. You know why? because he didn't play any. So that's another problem. If you're going to come here
There were
and you're
some
going to be coming from
steals.
Louisville, great. I mean, he's 6'7". I'd hope he can get some steals. If you're going to come here from Louisville, you better be able to play some defense. And I haven't seen it yet, so hopefully we see it. I don't know. I just think that, do you need to add a role player like this? And I don't know why we
He's
have to
keeping it real. Like, and that's the thing. You don't have to love every transfer we get.
That's what people do, though, and I'm not doing that. I just, no disrespect. Obviously I hope he is an impact guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, do we need to add a guy in the week of the final week of the season already in the portal? Like, there's still a month and a half or 2 months of stuff happening.
Yeah.
And we bring in another, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Shout out to Eaton Johnson, who had the scoop on this one. Huh?
Yeah, Eaton Johnson. Gave him a follow. Philip says, if Damas is gone, is booty ball still the offense? It'll be interesting to see what Brad does next year, offensively, because he's always been kind of an
player
ISO motion guy. He doesn't have a big yet, and so the booty ball player right now is Ty Rogers. Is who it is. That's the thing. Like that's who
Ty Rogers without the scoring skills. Yes.
Yeah. And I to be completely honest, speaking of Damas, we didn't really love his game. I mean, you might have loved it more than I did.
I did.
But, you know.
I feel like we could find some Damas takes from you in the offseason that wouldn't be looking too great. Like, oh, he played in Southern Illinois. And
yeah,
great.
That's what I said.
I think Illinois offensively, first of all, I don't really like any form of ISO offense unless you have great players to do it. And I don't know if Illinois is going to have that this year. If I were Brad, I would just go look at what UConn does and try to replicate it. Honestly, like that's what happens in all sports. Want the team that's the most successful, copycat. I think they should do that. Yeah. I would love to do that. And you have to have the personnel to do that. And nobody says you're going to be able to do it as well as UConn. You're probably not. But doing some of the stuff that they do, I think would be great. And I think there are players in this team that can do some of those things. Illinois is more than likely not going to have like a top level, like whatever you think about the guy we're going to talk about here in a minute, not going to have like a top level point guard, top 3 point guard in the country, more than likely, like Newton was at UConn. So, and they're not going to have a 7-footer, I don't think, because we've heard absolutely nothing about Stanford that big. So that's probably not going to happen, even though it would be great. On3 has him as the number 1 player in the portal, by the way, Rayno from Stanford. Yeah. So, and their rankings are horrific, but I'm just saying it is notable that he's number 1. But either way, I'm definitely not going to make a video out of the Trey White thing because I kind of dumped all over him. I think that's just disrespectful. And I'm not trying to get views. So,
is White basically a better shooting Ty?
He's not. Say what you will about Ty's, Ty's defense not being as good this year. Ty's bad defense is better than what I've seen from Trey White. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to go back and watch. But even at USC, I know that the point here was that nobody on Louisville played defense last year. Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, what did he do at USC? I haven't seen anything from that either. So
yeah, we'll bookmark this for next year, and that way we can come back and talk about how you have terrible takes. So
yeah, if he averages more than 8 points on this team, I'd be floored. Honestly, floored. And minutes wise, if he thinks he's going to come here and play the minutes he played at Louisville, which was 31.2 a game. Try taking 20 off of that and playing 11.2 because that's probably what we're going to see. And it's honestly disrespectful to say this is a Quincy Guerrier replacement without Quincy played for this team. So, hope Trey White does well.
Yeah, it sounds like you do.
What am I going to say? What am I going to say?
All right.
Boswell, Champaign native, Arizona guard Kylan Boswell is in the portal. You can go 1946 on that one. He was down at Arizona and Illinois before he chose to go to Arizona. This point here from Philip Newton was a transfer from East Carolina. Boswell could become an elite point guard in Illinois. I agree. However, Newton last year was really good in the national championship game, but the entire season in year 2 at UConn is when he really, really, really took off. So who knows how long Boswell is here. If he comes here, it really seems like it's going to happen. Like,
yeah,
almost be stunning if it didn't at this point. And it makes sense given how hard Illinois went after him the first time and the fact that he's from actually from Champaign.
Yeah.
It's not Chicago, it's Champaign.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor. And your part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people here know who Kylan Boswell is. I don't know if everybody that listens on the actual podcast will, but 6'2", 200-pound guard. He's played the last 2 years at Arizona. He averaged 15 minutes per game as a freshman, 27 last year as a sophomore. He's only 18 years old. He turns 19 like next week, something like that. So
that's a big factor here.
Yeah, it's huge. He's got 2 years of college basketball, and he's just now turning 19. So he averaged 9.6 points per game, 3.6 assists per game, 1.4 steals per game, 1.7 turnovers per game, had 37, 38, 80 splits. So pretty reliable shooter. I mean, shoots around 40% from three, 80% from the line. I think that, again, he's young, and I think that he is a guy that can become very good. I don't know if that jump will happen overnight. I mean, there's people in the comments saying, do we really want him? I think that you do. I think you want a guy that can handle the ball consistently.
I don't think there's any question that you want him.
Yeah.
He played 15 minutes per game on a 2-seed team last year and started 35, played 27 a game on a 2-seed this year. And I know that there's a lot of people that say either he needs more confidence, which hopefully he can build here, and that these are Arizona fans talking, I guess, and the inconsistencies with shooting. Still shot 39, 38% from three in 2 years. So
yeah, I think the big thing is, like, he disappeared in the tournament. I mean, I don't remember what his stats
so did his
were.
coach.
They were very good. Yeah. So I think that he would be a great addition. We wanted a guard. What?
He had 20 points against Long Beach State in the first round. Let's not forget.
Okay.
He just disappeared in the next two games. But
my bad.
He didn't play any minutes either. He only played 18 against Dayton and 21 against Clemson. He played 32 against Long Beach, had 20 points on 4 of 9 from three. So, and look, I mean, the Pac-12 was not a great conference this year, so it's kind of hard to point out certain things. But I do think it's notable that he had 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in a game against Alabama in the non-conference. And he had 12 points and made 2 gigantic threes at Duke when they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor. So he's had big performances in big games. He had 12 against 12, 3 and 3 against Michigan State and 10 points, 9 assists against Wisconsin. So you can point out a lot of games where he showed up and played well, and then there's a few where he didn't show up, like Washington State game or the Pac-12 tournament and 2 of the NCAA tournament games. But either way, I get that Illinois has gone bigger at guard in recent years. Like, he's not that small. He's bigger than DGL. He's bigger than Moretti, 6'2". He's got the experience that most 19-year-olds don't have. So I don't think there's any question at all. Like, I don't even think they should let him leave the building with his official visit tomorrow.
Yeah. He comes tomorrow, and he's come for the weekend. There's a couple other guys that are supposedly coming with him. And he's picked up he picked up a crystal ball almost immediately from Eric Bosey. And then tonight he got one from Piper. So seems like a done deal. I don't know, but
I think it would take a team swooping in and being insane for it not to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he was down to 2 schools when he committed, right? So sometimes it's 3. This time it was only 2. And obviously Illinois swung and missed the first time, and I don't think they're going to miss this time.
Yeah. Boswell will be our starting point guard next year. Yeah, if Illinois gets him, I think that's guaranteed. So Jeffrey says, do we have any bigs on deck in the portal? 5-out won't win a championship. I think Brad's got a few. I think that Brad's gonna get a big. I don't know how we move forward unless it's with Hansberry and Johnson, but I think that he needs an experienced big at least.
I don't see why they're not going all out for Raynaud from Stanford. I don't get that at all.
I mean, he's got to want to come here. That's the problem.
Throw him $700 million. Danny Wolf's going to Michigan. So is Golden. They're going to have Golden and Wolf underneath.
Scheidweiner says, is White signing to cover a just in case transfer, or does Brad possibly know of someone that is transferring?
I don't think you can really play anything like that. So I'm going to say no to both.
I think that Brad apparently sees upside in Trey White, so
I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think he's bringing him in to be the mask or I think he's bringing him in thinking that he has potential. So that's just
I don't think everything's connected either. So
Maddox still in play. Yeah, so Maddox and both him and Booth are coming tomorrow from what people are saying. Maddox, we talked about on the last episode, the guard from Toledo, which I think him and Boswell in the backcourt could be really good, except they're both 6'2"-ish.
That's where I wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be okay with it as long as you have some decent wings and a big man with them. But 6'2", 6'2", I don't know.
It's tough.
I mean, to be fair,
2 guys that shoot 40% from 3 on the court.
That's the other thing. And coaching has to be a factor here too, because you can win without being gigantic. Like I know that they're the team that won it this year was bigger at guard. Newton 6'5", Spencer 6'4". And then Caravan wasn't even a guard, so what am I saying? But anyway, yeah, I definitely like a bigger backcourt. I mean, you look at the team they played, Braden Smith, 6 foot, and Lawyer wasn't even there, and Lance Jones only 6'1". So Purdue was smaller at guard, and they shot really well from 3, but it didn't win them a championship. And I perfectly okay with Maddox coming and Boswell. I think that's something worth trying. I mean, this is the same team that had Plummer and Frazier in the same backcourt, and that worked out well. You just got to have good wings and a big man around them. And the big man thing is where it's a concern, but I can tell you right now, Dane Danger wouldn't be the solution here. I'll tell you that. Zero doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, he shot 45% from 3 in 2023. So that'll play pretty much anywhere. He's a good free throw shooter too, 86%. Started his career at Cal State Fullerton. He was 90% free throw shooter there. So the idea of Maddox and Boswell, I think, is great because I think it'll kind of take some pressure off of the Sinceres and the Ties of the world when it comes to needing to do things offensively because those guys are going to carry a lot of the load from the guard position.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, apparently Maddox is coming on Monday. Eric said, I don't
know. What is it? Michigan. Somebody else.
Xavier, Louisville, Creighton, Michigan, and Illinois. And he said 4 hours ago this was posted at 247. I'm definitely close to a decision. I don't plan on being too much longer. So he's coming here Monday.
Yeah, which takes us to what the roster looks like right now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I mean, some people in this chat are worried about that, but it's early. At the guard position, you have Moretti, DGL, and Harris, which, yikes. The guys who could, be guards or wings are Rogers and Davis. Goody's strictly a wing guy. And then Trey White is a wing forward guy. And then basically the 4 position. Why did I meant to put Johnson Jackstyes at the forward position, and then the big man Hansberry. So there's 3 spots basically left, and I still don't. One of these guys is gone, I think.
Yeah,
that's still where I'm at on it.
I would agree. I mean, I don't know where. I know Sincere said he's staying. I don't think Rogers is leaving, but who knows? He hasn't really said anything. Moretti's kind of one where I can just see him being gone, finding somewhere else to play where he can get minutes, especially if you bring in, Boswell and Maddox. If you don't bring in both of them, maybe Moretti gets more run, but depends on it. It honestly depends on how much these guys want to play and what they think they're going to play. It's kind of like the Jace Butler situation. I mean, he knew that if he came in, he was going to be like third man up, and in a guard spot. So it just kind of is. Lazy Forrest Gump says Johnson Jackstyes. LMAO.
I would rather have Jace Butler than Trey White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do you worry? I haven't watched enough of. I guess when I watched Boswell, I never really paid attention to his defense, and I haven't really watched Maddox at all. I just wonder, defensively at 6'2", maybe a bit of a concern. Boswell averaged 1.4 steals per game last year.
Yeah.
And Maddox was at 1.4 as well. Yeah. Who knows? I'd have to watch more, but
yeah,
obviously you're going to have Sincere there, so that's defense. Not that they're going to be playing together, but, a guy that can guard. And Rogers hopefully can improve a little bit as well.
Jace Butler transfer target 2026. Hey, I mean,
That's
Brad has
route.
He has a way of letting them go and bringing them back in. So Jason Jaxties is a red shirt, likely. I could see that for sure. I don't think that Illinois has a use for him this year, but Ty would do better in a mid-major conference. He go play at Memphis with Dane.
What do you think about AJ Storr right now?
I
think I'm in. I gotta be honest. I think I'm in.
I don't know. I maybe if he doesn't play like Matthew Meyer.
Oh, what is Kentucky doing? Oh my God!
What is BYU's coach coming on down?
Oh, what are you doing? This is so fucking embarrassing, guys. I'm tweeting. What the fuck is Kentucky doing?
Is that what happened?
Yeah, Sean Miller would have been so much better. What a terrible hire. I apologize for ever disrespect. Like, they should have taken Brad. What are you guys doing? Mark Pope was on that 90, what year was that? 94 team? Maybe
96.
No, 94 was Arkansas. 96?
96, yeah.
Yeah, he was on that team. I mean, he's a good basketball coach, but come on, man.
Who's saying it? Where's this at?
It's all over the place.
I mean, I saw that they were going after him, but
that's disgusting. That is awful. I mean, it'll be fun to watch, I guess, because the way that his teams play, if you look at BYU, like, they're fun. Hopefully he recruits maybe some more players who aren't BYU-like since he's at Kentucky. So we'll see. But I'm just a sidetrack. That's embarrassing. Like, if you're a Kentucky fan, you guys all bitched about Scott Drew. Like, now you have Mark Pope. That's a shit hire. Good luck to him, though. Maybe it'll work out. He's a good basketball coach, but remains to be seen on whether Louisville got a better hire than Kentucky. But I mean, maybe. Scott Drew said no to both of them, so sucks for Kentucky fans. I guess they get what they deserve, though. How crazy they are, because
nobody wanted the job, exactly.
Yeah, imagine not wanting Scott Drew. I can't believe they were bitching about Scott Drew.
I told Ethan the other night, I thought Bruce Pearl, like, after 7 people said no, it's like, just call Bruce already and have him come, because
clearly Billy Donovan had no interest, and I guess they didn't approach Sean Miller. I think Sean Miller would have been your best hire if you're between Sean Miller and Mark Pope. I would take Sean Miller 10 times out of 10. But Kentucky fans, you know what? You doofuses got what you deserved. It's that simple. You're from the middle of nowhere, Lexington, Kentucky. Talk about overrated. That place sucks. So's the state of Kentucky, just a shithole. But congrats, guys. You got Mark Pope. What an that's a hire that inspires. A guy who had a 6 seed this year and fucking lost to Duquesne in the first round.
Is this like a done deal?
It's happening, yeah. Yeah, see, the Ty Rodgers thing, like, I'm curious to hear Jeffrey's opinion on this, because I know he knows so much about guys who are not as good at basketball as they should be. What would make Ty do better in a bit? Like, it depends on the situation. Like, is it a team that's going to let him try to make offense happen? Because I feel like he's a pretty good in terms of his role. What his role on this new team will be? It'll be a lot less ball handling. and it'll be a lot more of cutting and getting offensive rebounds and crashing the boards and focusing on defense rather than trying to make that much happen offensively. And can we also sit here and remember that Ty Rodgers was a decently high recruit coming in?
Played on the USA team.
Yeah, he wasn't a 2-star.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who can play a decent role on a championship team.
What was Dane out of high school?
Dane was like a 3, wasn't he? 3 or 4? I mean, if Scott Drew didn't want him, why the hell did we? Ty could shoot better at SIUE. I don't think Ty could shoot anywhere, so I don't think that matters.
Ty's coming out next year, pulling up.
If you seriously think that Ty Rodgers' ball handling skills aren't better than mediocre, like what are you watching?
Yeah,
he's a fine ball handler.
I disagree with his ball handling skills, but
and also you're the guy who defended Dane to like no end, and Dane has a ton of flaws. Like, come on. Dane was a 4-star 106 coming out, number 18 center, 3 out of Minnesota.
People are really enjoying your haircut.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Other things going on in the transfer portal. Kerry Booth. Is that his name? I feel like
Ty was a 4-star number 55, number 1 in the state of Illinois. So
pretty good. We talked about him on the last episode also. 6'10" from Notre Dame. He's got 3 years left. He seems like Coleman Hawkins type. I think I said in the last one. Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
Except nowhere near as advanced.
Well, I mean, how was Coleman his freshman year? Yeah,
but we didn't bring Coleman didn't play. You gonna let me make a point? Coleman in year 2 was not like a huge. It was really years 3 and 4 where he really took off.
Right.
Like he was playing a lot, but he wasn't great. And I just have no interest in the Kerry Booth thing. Like, why do we have already 3 big guys and Jaxties could redshirt, which seems likely, but you already have 2 big guys right there that are already young. Like, you gotta get older in that spot.
You think that Brad just doesn't believe in a traditional 5 at this point?
He had Kofi. I mean,
but after Kofi,
I don't know. It's hard to find.
Underutilized Dane, and
it's hard to find, I guess.
That's true. It's hard to find Zach Edey out there. Anyways, you wrote down some other guys that they're looking at?
Yeah, I just saw that they recently reached out to Jordan Pope, who's a guard from Oregon State. He played with Coleman Hawkins at Prolific Prep, which I think is Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He played 2 years at Oregon State. He must have been real young when he was playing with Coleman, 2 years younger. Shot at 37% from 3 last year and 38% the season before. 88% free throw shooter, 84%. When they beat Utah in the Pac-12 second to last game of the season, he had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And remember this, they beat Arizona by 3. He had 31 with 5 assists. So he can play. That's a decent backup plan if you don't get Boswell, which doesn't seem. It feels like Boswell's going to be here. So, yeah. And then Jared Coleman Jones, a 6'10" forward from Middle Tennessee State, averaged 11 points, 7.6 rebounds. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. Played 3 seasons at Middle Tennessee. Didn't start until this season. Shot at 45% from the field, 44% from 3, 77% from the line. So decent player there. Seems like he can handle it a little bit too. 2.3 assists per game.
I don't know if I can handle like that name. Just looks like other people.
Sure.
Anyways, Kentucky fans are obnoxious.
Jalen Coleman lands. JCL, what a stud.
Any signs of interior defense? No.
Hansberry.
Merez. Johnson.
That's one thing I'll defend Dane on is defensively. I thought people were totally unfair on him. I think we agree on that.
Yeah, he was better. He definitely got better. I would say.
Well, he's got the longest arms in the world. He should be able to
it's true.
affect shots.
Why no talk of Javon Small out of OK State? Because we're getting
He's
Kylan Boswell.
he's probably on the Jordan Pope backup plan range. Average 15 and 5. If you want to do the Tristan Newton pipeline, he was at East Carolina for 2 seasons as well. He shot at 37% from 3, 86% from the free throw line. Played on a bad Oklahoma State team, but had some good games. Had 34 against BYU, regular season finale. He's a good player. Does a lot of different things. He's a decent assist guy as well. He'll give you 4 to 7 or so a game. 7 would be the peak, I guess, but average 4 a game. So, yeah, he's probably in that C tier of point guards outside of, Boswell. Good player, though.
Yeah. Bootzilla apparently wants us to read this because he typed it 3 times. I can tell Jaxties is going to be Ethan's favorite player when all is said and done.
Yeah, it depends on if he develops, I think he can be good if he develops. Forgotten player.
Lazy Forrest Gump says, from the offers out and rumors, I'm willing to bet we have at least one more that enters the portal. I could see.
Feels like, yeah, I mean, do you have another point guard if Moretti is gone and Boswell's in?
DGL?
I mean, not really.
Sincere's ball handling skills look a lot better. Thinking around the point, I mean, he's definitely not a shooting guard.
Boswell would play 35 minutes a game if he came here, so he probably should.
Yeah. Nico, that's what he's saying. If Nico's gone, what do we do? Jeffrey G prefers Small to Boswell.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. This really went off the rails. I only got timestamps for like one thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to do anything with it. So did you answer the store thing fully? I think that was right before.
Do I want him?
Yeah.
I would take him. Do I want him? I don't know.
I just think the idea of like a
I compared him to Matthew Meyer is what I actually did. So
yeah, that was interesting. I mean,
I think he's going to be one of those guys that I'm gonna love one day and I'm gonna hate the next. That's how Matthew Meyer was to me. So, do you think there's any chance that Illinois is actually going to get AJ Storr though?
Maybe.
Really?
I think I've increased on that a little bit. I don't know.
Did you
see? There's a lot of noise for it to be nothing.
Did you see that Fran said Tony Perkins wanted $500,000 to stay at Iowa?
My God. I would have said, yeah, we're good. Thanks on that.
Yeah,
one.
I don't. NIL, somebody, was it Goodman that tweeted something to Goodbloom?
Yeah.
About somebody won $1.5 million and they're not even in the portal yet. And it's like, people are like, well, this is why NIL sucks. Well, if nobody gives it to him, guess what? Then he doesn't get it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Still like embarrassing for the sport that we've come to this. Like, there's no regulation.
Yes, if he's Matthew Meyer, hell no. I'm back and forth with Storr. I was all in on Storr, and then like towards the end of the season at Wisconsin, he just looked checked out, and maybe that's because he didn't want to be there anymore. I don't know.
I think you have to give him the benefit of the doubt with what Wisconsin looked like down the stretch.
Right. Forrest Gump says, have to take a projected first team all conference. Meyer was a first team guy. Storr wasn't a first team guy. Storr is. I mean, yeah, I think he's too good. Like, if he wants to come here, I think he's too good not to take. I'll say it that way. I think AJ Storr have to be a better lane. I think AJ Storr have a better to land Illinois if he decides not to stay in the draft. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the store thing is I think if he wants to be here, you have to do it. And
yeah,
I think
that's how I feel.
We're on the same page. Yeah, just the idea of having a wing like that, like the wing position right now is not very strong. I mean, it's basically Goody and Trey White and Jake Davis and whatever you do with Ty. That's pretty bad. And I think another thing is like we haven't really heard any team. We haven't heard any other team on store. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's either NBA or.
Do you think he'll get drafted?
I haven't looked at any mocks, and I don't know. I think he would. I don't think he'd get drafted that high, though.
This is the most Jeffrey comment ever. And you butcher about my post.
Yeah, sure.
Millie is coming at you. Ethan, I think you're wrong about White. 12 points as a sophomore, 45% shooting, and a strong conference. He's better than Quincy, in my opinion. His game isn't that pretty, though. Well, his game is ugly.
The last sentence is very, very correct.
Not pretty is an understatement.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think the thing that would separate, like, if you think about the Iowa State game in the Sweet 16, Mamala Soviok from Iowa State was locked down by Quincy.
Mm-hmm.
Does Trey White do that? Quincy's bigger, obviously. I just think it's unfair for people to be comparing him to Quincy because I thought Quincy was a very, very good one-year guy. Like, I don't think anybody should look back at what Quincy was this year and not say he was good for us. And the conference shooting thing, yeah, I mean,
Quincy wasn't an offensive threat, but what he gave you defensively against other guys that were his size or a little smaller made up for it, I think.
Yeah, I think Trey White conference 3-point shooting just horrific in conference play in his 2 seasons. But from 2, he was better. He was a solid 17th in the ACC in 2-point percentage in conference play. But then he only shot 30% from 3, which is 0.5 ahead of his full season number. So I don't think you can really look at. Because the good thing for Trey White is that we're not going to need him to make threes in the same way because the other 2 guys with him or in a similar position or size are Goody and Davis, who are both going to shoot it well. So I'm willing to give him a chance. I don't love it. I may have said he stinks, but I don't know.
If we don't get Store, we need to still get someone who can give us 16 plus points per game. Who else is on our radar like that?
That's another thing we got to think about. We don't just need a bunch of number 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 options. You're not gonna win if you don't have a stud.
Yeah,
and that's part of why I've kind of revised my Store stance. But still plenty of time with the portal, plenty of time to shake some things out. I mean, there could be more guys that enter. I don't know who.
Illinois is going to be out of spots by then, but
there will be there's going to be changes with guys leaving, and Jaxties will probably.
Are any of the guys coming in big bodied, or are they all thin? Boswell's a big body, but he's only 6'2". That's the problem. Merez Johnson's big bodied. I think Hansberry's going to put on some weight in the offseason.
Do you want Ballo?
Ballo's going to be at Indiana. Gillis.
Yeah, Ballo.
How about Gillis?
Ballo is just stuck like in the middle. I just don't like offense through that. That's why I kind of agree with Brad. I don't think you really need a true 5 to run your offense through. But you definitely need defense on that end. That's why,
Yeah.
I don't know. Lazy Forrest Gump, I mean, relax is what I would say to that comment. Obviously, there'll never be another, but Store's mannerisms and playstyle remind me of UNC Michael Jordan.
Big shoes to fill. All right. We're already 5 minutes past how long I wanted to do this, so let's get on to the
I was trying to think of a good thing to say to that comment, but I don't even know. Like,
you just told him to stop. Do you have to say anything else?
I just said relax.
Relax.
Yes. Illini seemingly never gamble on a freshman starting Merez. Yeah, I think it depends on where the team's at. I mean, I don't know if that's fully true. I mean, you look at,
Sky Clark, Adam Miller.
yeah, fair. Those teams, one of them was good, one of them was not.
And they both hated it and they left. Is what's crazy.
Both
got starting spots as freshmen.
Can we take those two and separate them though? There's a pretty big difference. Like Adam Miller was good for Illinois and was here the whole year and didn't quit. And I think if he could have redone what happened, he probably would have stayed. Now looking back on it, after the 2021 season, would you have rather had Miller or Curbelo stay after the 2021 season?
Miller.
Yeah, I mean, you already had Frazier there.
I mean, he got hurt, so we don't know what he would have been like. So
maybe he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Maybe he wouldn't.
No, he probably would have.
Do you think Merez starts next year? Man, I think there's a chance. If Brad sticks to like what he does, I think there's a chance. How big is Merez? 6'10",
6'9",
6'9",
6'9", 6'10", 6'9".
Man,
6'9", 220.
Yeah.
6'9", 235. Sorry,
I could see it.
Might as well.
Elite Eight, grateful for the season. TSJ was generational. Yes, sir.
The Big Ten, latest in the Big Ten. I don't know. Is this correct? Nebraska's returning Juwan Gary and Bryce Williams. I thought I read that somewhere. I just didn't fact check myself
I have no
on
clue.
that one.
I honestly haven't kept up with any of the other teams except for some reason Woodson always pops up in my feed. So
they're busy. They're busy in the portal. Merez seems different. He committed early and stuck with it. I mean, he got absolutely worked. He got absolutely worked by that Rutgers commit.
Oh my
god!
gosh.
State tournament game. But other than that, yeah, should be great. Seems like Maryland could be
Johnson now.
Seems like Maryland could be really good next year.
Yeah, he said that in terms of last year
roster.
Maryland's going to be really good.
They had 2 players last year. That was the problem. Now they got a 5-star center coming in. Derek Queen, Monford.
Derek Queen. Who names their kid Derek Queen?
Well, I mean,
it's just so funny. It's literally Dairy Queen.
Which
hilarious.
Dairy Queen is so overpriced, man. God, this country
overpriced. Spent $40 for 3 meals at Chick-fil-A tonight.
There you go. They got Malachi Palmer, a combo guard, 6'5", 185, number 126, number 1 in the state of Maryland. So he could, be interesting player there. And then in the portal, it seems like they're doing work as well.
Are they?
Yeah, and they're in a bunch of way too early rankings as well.
Way too early.
Transfer portal additions, and then Reese and Queen land Maryland in first 2024 top 25 rankings is a headline from Ben Dixon. So they got a couple of transfers coming in as well.
Same as Eaton Johnson, or is that a real person?
It's a real person. Okay. But basically, they got to replace Jameer Young and Dante Scott. So we'll see. Should be. I mean, Queen and Reese is a very formidable front court. Those two. I mean, I think this will take a lot of pressure. As long as he is a 5-star in year 1 and plays like a 5-star.
He looked really good I know it's all McDonald's game, but I think those guys were trying, and he was really good in that game. Especially for a big man.
Take some pressure off of Reese underneath as well. Reese can kind of play the 4. I think that's why I like Maryland right now. We'll see though. Indiana's in the mix for a bunch of guys, as they always are. There's a couple. Guys. Omar Ballo is one of them. Who's the other one? There's another one that is projected to possibly go. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Everybody hang on tight. I know we want to hear about this. Indiana basketball. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Why can I not find it? Yeah, but Ballo seems like could be a target there. The big man from Arizona. He's got plenty of basketball under his belt.
That's what they said.
Kanan Carlisle from Stanford is the other one that currently is projected to go there. 6'2", a freshman guard from Stanford, could end up there, as well as Miles Rice, who's a stud Washington State guard, redshirt freshman, really good player. So that could be another one that ends up there. According to On3, which these rankings are so terrible, I barely even want to read them, but Rice is 16th and Carlisle is 10th in the ranking. So, and you look at Illinois' additions, Boswell is like 35th. They think Boswell is like the 8th or 9th best point guard in the portal right now, which is a joke. And then how about this? Nebraska. I forgot to write this down as well. On top of returning Gary and Williams, Nebraska appears to be the favorite for Frankie Fiddler, the 6'7" Omaha transfer, number 39 in the portal.
It's a fantastic name.
I was going to say I really want him in the Big Ten. And then Tennessee lost Jonas Adu and Owaka to the portal.
How about Adu?
That would be great. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be great.
I would love Adu.
Yeah. It looks like Tennessee's going to replace one of them, or not really replace, but bring in a wing to maybe replace Connect. Darlin Stone Dubar from Hofstra. Another good name there. So, yeah. How about Peja's kid? You want him? Andrei Stojakovic from Stanford?
No idea.
You know where Tony Perkins is going?
No.
Keep this on the DL, folks.
Somewhere that can't pay him $500,000.
Illinois is going to be playing him this season. And it's not in the Big Ten.
Oregon?
Not in the Big Ten.
It's not in the Big Ten. Tennessee?
No.
Who else are playing? Eastern Illinois?
Right before Christmas.
Marquette?
It does start with an M.
Miami?
Okay, Missouri. I mean, what Jesus, that was embarrassing. I hate to have done that to you. And then Gillis and Morton are in the portal from Purdue. So, which I don't think that's a surprise. Morton was not even a part of the rotation. And Gillis, I think, is a 4-year guy. So,
thanks, guys. Way to chime in after the fact. Make me look stupid.
That was an embarrassing moment for you. But I think it says about Missouri went 0-18 in the SEC. They're irrelevant. The Stanford Center obviously would be a great addition, but I don't think it's going to happen. If anything, this year proves Biggs reigns supreme in college hoops. Don't know why Brad will ignore that. Oh my God. Jeffrey, have you ever thought
Jeffrey loves big men?
Have you ever thought that maybe coaching is also a big factor, developing guys? Because that's what Painter and Hurley did. They developed those guys.
I mean, Donovan Klingon's a top 10 pick, and Zach Edey's 7'4". I mean, those guys are 1 in a billion. Is the thing, right?
Well, Edey being 7'4" and having that touch at that size is like a complete anomaly compared to a lot of other guys. There's a bunch of guys in the country that are. Well, there's a bunch of guys in the country that are 7'3", 7'4", who were completely useless. So I think it says a lot about the development that Painter.
They also probably weighed 210.
Yeah, and Edey, it took a couple of years, but the last 2 years, obviously, you could see signs of it early. I feel like we did mention it a little bit in his first 2 years, but obviously second years were great.
That's probably because he used to be a hockey player and a baseball player. How many guys that
I would have hit a nuke off of that guy. He throws so slow. I mean, it was fast, but it's because his arms were long, but it's just ugly motion. I don't know. Does one thing really reign supreme over the other? I think great coaching reigns supreme over everything else.
Yeah, you know who's great coaches? Hurley and Painter.
Yeah, and you know what else? Illinois had Kofi for 3 years and didn't get to the Sweet 16. And that's a big right there. So that kind of goes against that. Have you ever thought that the best version of Brad Underwood teams don't feature a star 5? I don't know, because I feel like this year's team might be the best version of Brad's team, considering they had the number 1 offense, which you complained about for weeks, but whatever. So I don't know. I feel like your point on that might be wrong. And you may sit there and think look, you disagree with me on everything. What does it matter? That's not entirely true. It's mostly true, which maybe that says something about me instead of you, or maybe it says something about you instead of me. Who knows? What I do know is that when was the last time a team won the Natty without a quality big? I mean, did Baylor really have an elite big Are we saying quality or elite? Because that's like such a different answer between the two. Because I don't know if Baylor really did. Obviously, Kansas had McCormick was good. They had him. And then UConn, obviously, with Klingon and Sonogo. Virginia didn't really have like a featured big. They had Diakite and Braxton Key and the big white guy, but they didn't really have a featured guy. Villanova, I mean, that was a guard and wing team right there. Like Pascal and Spellman were both like, taller, but it was a guard and wing team. So I would say depends on what your definition of quality is. It would be the answer to that. But feels like you're so stuck in the 70s and 80s, man. Like you want Lou Alcindor to be walking through that door, or Patrick Ewing. That's not going to happen. So I don't know. If you want me to keep taking him to school, I can. I mean, it's fine.
Oh, no. As always, we'd like to thank the Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon at 700 East Broadway Avenue in Mattoon, Illinois. You can find them online at www.alamo-steakhouse.com. What's today?
Thursday.
Tomorrow, Friday, they have a peachy bourbon pork chop that you can go get. Saturday, they have a wine and mushroom ribeye. So a couple deals for April. Their featured special in April is a sweet heat burger, and their featured dessert is a pineapple upside down cake. Go check them out over in Mattoon. If you guys would like to sponsor us for our episodes or our watch parties, reach out to us on Twitter or email us at illinibasketballpodcast@gmail.com. As always, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. We always appreciate you guys coming out. I guess next time news drops, we'll be back.
Yeah, I think one part of this I wanted to mention is that I guess we'll probably do something when the Boswell thing happens or a couple days after, because I feel like we already know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but
so like Monday, we'll see you guys Monday.
Maybe. I feel like we've done content like every time of the day this season.
We have.
Because, the Iowa State game, that was like 12 a.m.
Midnight. We've done morning shows. We do 4 o'clocks. We do 8 o'clocks.
The watch parties and stuff.
You never know. You never know.
What do you think about Cliff?
What do I think about him? I don't think he's coming to Illinois.
But that would be an exciting deal, huh?
Yeah. Would you consider him a quality big?
I don't know. Yes, but like he doesn't give you a ton offensively.
Yeah.
So I feel like a quality big on a national championship team has to be able to score. That's kind of where I'm at on it. That's why I don't think that I could consider Baylor's, the Chamwa Chachua and Thamba duo. They weren't like elite scorers. That's the difference between like Klingon can score, Sonogo could score. So I don't know. I think Jeffrey, if you look back, you would see there's a lot of teams didn't really have that. Like if your big is not your number at least top 3 scoring option, is he really quality? I don't know.
Sure. MJ, what's going on? We're just wrapping it up. You can go back and watch from the beginning if you like.
Yeah, all right. Everybody has 5 seconds to say something, or I'm gone. All right.
Perfect.
No
See you later.
That's fine. All right. We'll see everybody next week, I guess. Episode 213 then. Hope Trey White's good, and he probably won't be. But